Good morning, guys, and welcome back to another episode of GameHammer Daily. Now, today we were going to review the Lost Vikings, but I can't find them. So instead, we're going to be having a look at Micro Machines 2 Turbo Tournament on the Mega Drive. Let's get into it. Back in the 80s, Codemasters ruled the roost when it came to budget game developers. Their Dizzy franchise was the British home computer equivalent of Mario in terms of adoration of the character and excitement for his next adventure. But Dizzy wasn't the only feather in Codemasters' cap. They also had a steady stream of simulator games under their belt. Games such as Grand Prix Simulator and BMX Simulator showed Codemasters could handle top-down multiplayer racing games and do them with style. So it should come as no surprise that Micro Machines was a license the Codies were eager to pick up. Micro Machines was released in 1991 on a variety of platforms, and it was a huge success. It featured top-down perspectives that fans of Codemasters simulator games would be intimately familiar with, and it allowed for multiplayer races that was just so much fun. The game received rave reviews, so, inevitably, a sequel was created. Released in 1994, Micro Machines 2 Turbo Tournament would expand greatly on what the original game had to offer. It retained the fun, comic-style artwork and still featured a top-down perspective, but now players weren't limited to simple challenge or head-to-head modes. Now there was a tournament system and a time trial as well, which meant far more ways to have fun, either alone or with friends. Playing against friends was brilliant on Micro Machines, and there were many ways to do it. You could use the standard multiplayer expansion block for your Mega Drive if you had one. You could plug 2 extra controllers into the cartridge itself, because it was one of those Codemasters J-carts, the proprietary cartridge that featured a built-in 2-controller expansion port. You could even double up on the controller, with one player using the D-pad to play, while the other used the Mega Drive's 3 buttons as a controller. It was weird, and it took a bit of getting used to, but it worked. The number of courses were expanded in Turbo Tournament, with new locations and new vehicles. Many reviewers claim that these various vehicle styles handle differently to the standard car, but I have to admit I didn't notice all that much difference when I was playing, either back in the 90s or here in the modern day. Every car, every boat, and every helicopter still crashed just as easily as the previous vehicle that I've been desperately trying to keep on the track. Some people will find the controls in the game frustrating, and I can't blame them. It's not perfect by a long margin, but you can get used to it. I'm reminded a lot about the control scheme from the first few Grand Theft Auto games, and the top-down perspective with cartoon art style is certainly adding to that feeling. Trying to navigate around Liberty City using a keyboard on my old PC copy of GTA feels a lot like trying to make my way around the track on Micro Machines. Speaking of the tracks, they're as weird and as inventive as in the original game. You've not played a racing game until you've driven a hot rod around a toilet seat or tried to navigate a sports car onto a sponge so that you can make it across the bath to the next part of the course. This game really does capture that feeling of playing with Micro Machines as a kid. Micro Machines 2 Turbo Tournament received an update 2 years after release, in the form of Micro Machines Turbo Tournament 96. This is the version of the game that I had as a kid. I bought this over the original version because it had extra tracks and the ability to create your own tracks using the inbuilt track editor. To be honest, the extra tracks are a nice addition, but the main selling point of this version is the track editor. It works really well. It's pretty easy to get to grips with, and it expands the possibilities for custom tournaments no end. If you have a choice of which version to pick up, get the 96 version. It has everything the original does and more. If you don't have the choice, don't worry too much. The original version is still a brilliant game with many hours of playtime in it. So give it a try if you're a racing fan. I think you'll enjoy it. And there you go. Micro Machines 2 Turbo Tournament, one of the best races on the Mega Drive. 4-player action, fantastic game, so much fun. Really hard to get to used to, and the controls can be a little bit pixel perfect at times, but it's worth the perseverance because the game is so much fun. I recommend you give it a try if you get a chance, or in fact any of the Micro Machines games on Mega Drive. They're pretty good, but Turbo Tournament, that's the one. If you've got a choice, that is the one to go for. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did like this, and if you did, remember to click that like button, share it with your friends so that they will know a good game when they see it, and do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching GameHammer Daily on the Knobmouse channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.